Ayo, like, subscribe. Let's go.
Those men are very successful, and then they tend to think they can pull a 25-year-old, and it's like you're daddy to her.
Sometimes you can.
They can, but you got to pay to play. She doesn't love you. She loves what you can do for her.
Right.
A white man would prefer you natural before a black man.
No, that's
incorrect.
My clients who come to me, they're like, "Look, I make X amount, and he need to make at least this amount." Don't even bring him to me if he minimum wage. It ain't gonna work. Typically, they want somebody to be at least 6 figures. That's what I hear often. And it's important to them because they say that they live a certain lifestyle. And so if I lived a certain lifestyle where I'm traveling 6-7 times a year and I'm like, hey, I'm going to Italy next month, and you're like, oh, I gotta save up, I gotta move some money around. Y'all don't have an equal lifestyle. It's more for them. It's about lifestyle compatibility. That's what I hear.
Absolutely.
All these modern women want an entrepreneur or business owner who can pick up at the drop of a dime and fly them to Dubai whenever they feel like it.
Would y'all be willing to sacrifice certain aspects in order to get the important stuff like the emotional maturity?
I feel like a lot of times we naturally do. Sometimes we forget every man is not successful, every man is not rich, and they're being dated right now. They're being slept with right now.
Right.
So it's possible for us to settle or compromise with a man because every man isn't successful.
Right.
So I feel like, and you have to be mindful, right? Not every female is for the 666 deal. I don't know where that came from. I feel like that's something that's new that came out the blue. I didn't used to hear that years ago. So that is something new. Because I met a guy that was 6 foot, but he didn't make 6 figures. And as far as sex goes, sorry to go off topic, not every female wants a male with a big.
Every woman tells me they want a man who's 6 feet tall. The average man is 5'9", and only a person who's 6 feet tall is 13% of the population. So I'm like, okay, they're 13% of the whole population with all races. And if you narrow it down to black men, and then you want him to make 6 figures, now we're narrowing down even more. So it's it's an unrealistic expectation. So we should expect, on average, he's going to be 5'9", 5'10", on average.
So when a woman says he has to make this salary, women are usually the head of household. They make more than their partners usually.
Cap.
If we looked at it like that, Oprah would never be dating Stedman.
Correct.
Okay.
When you said the women are usually the head of households, you mean single mothers?
Well, I mean, you look at, women are the head of household in most households. They are the breadwinners. That's what I mean.
Is that because are we talking about single? You talking about with a couple
relationship? I'm talking about financial. Women may make more than their partners, and that's okay. And if you have this expectation that
I'm not completely sure about that one.
I think so. Okay, so I think statistically, when you look at it, you're gonna say men make more than women. But remember, I told you there's a whole world out there that's not true.
But I've been on CDC. I understand. I broke blackdemographics.com. I broke down the numbers in general, and the numbers just don't say that otherwise. You know what I mean? I understand there are women who are in relationships that are, but on average, and the majority, I've looked at the numbers. I can't say that for a fact.
Okay.
Unless you can prove me otherwise, I'm willing to learn and stuff like that.
But I think definitely in your situation, that's going to be the case.
For black women.
Yeah, for black women. And for successful black women, that's going to be the case. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That's completely false. Don't let them get away with that.
All right. Just to kind of segue, just to go with what you're talking about, I have seen recently more and more female professional matchmakers, not the home ones. But I see a lot more of them expressing their frustrations with, matching people or just blatantly quitting because they feel like, some people have unrealistic expectations. It's just unrealistic. In your experience, who do you think is more difficult to, match successfully, men or women?
And sisters, don't beat me up because I love y'all. But women do have more unrealistic expectations. And honestly, I think it's because when you're successful, you get to do everything you want. You get to choose the house you want. You get to choose the car you want. You get to choose. You get to customize your life. And here's one area that I feel like they try to customize, and it's difficult. But I am not one of those women that will say, I'm not a matchmaker that will say I'm walking away because women have unrealistic expectations, because I'm also a dating coach. So it's my job to coach you and say, hey, here's what's out there, and let's massage that, and let's work on your expectation, and let's make it realistic. So I'm not bowing out.
So what are the things? So I want to ask you from, what do most men require when they're looking for potential mates, and what do women normally require?
Well, men can be unrealistic too, especially so when you get older, when you get like 45-ish, those men, 45, 50, those men are very successful, and then they tend to think they can pull a 25-year-old. And it's like, sir, you're a daddy to her.
Sometimes you can.
They can, but you got to pay to play. You can, but you got to pay to play. And so they be thinking that she in love with them. Like, no, she's not in love with you. You're her father. You're a sugar daddy. You're a sugar daddy. So I have to set the expectation. Like, no, she doesn't love you. She loves what you can do for her. Like, let's be clear. If you get somebody at par with you, your age, she might love you. This girl want what you can do for her. So it's an expectation thing too.
All women want a man with resources. You can keep your love. We just want respect.
One of the reasons why men don't tend to care about a woman's, success when it comes to earning potential, because it's like, okay, well, it doesn't contribute towards, the family, because a woman, how many times we heard, not all women, but we hear women, a man's money is my money and my money is my money. So a man is looking at it, well, I don't really care for her money because it has nothing to do with me or the family. So that's why I wanted to ask, what are some ways that successful women can contribute to the family with their income?
Yeah. I have clients, let me give an example. I have a client, she makes $5 million a year. And I told her from the gate.
Shout out to her.
Shout out to her. She's one of my favorite clients, by the way.
But I'm sure.
I just matched her with a guy who's an attorney. He don't make nearly as much as she makes, but he definitely makes six figures. And she didn't care. She was just like, Shay, I just don't want him to, when he pull up to my mansion, when he pull up and see my cars in the yard, I don't want him to be intimidated. That's what's important to me. This is how I live. I don't want to dumb it down. I don't want to water it down. This is me. If you can accept me, I can accept you. And we can ride off in the sunset. That was her thought. Some women are not like that. They're like, nope, you got to come. So everybody's different. But she's very logical and she understands. I'm not going to be able to fire her.
Would you say that's a majority though?
It's not the majority. But again, that's my job to say, here's what's out here. Okay? This is what we're working with. I can get you this. I don't know about that.
I heard you say earlier that issue they have is like I want to go on vacation like every other month or whatever,
they do.
And their partner can't. But if you could afford to pay for your partner to go with you, why wouldn't you want to do that?
So that's the thing. So yes, they can afford to do it. Absolutely. Like they'll drop $30,000 at the mall just on GP. It's like ridiculous. Right. It's like I'm like, oh girl, stop. So when I'm with them, I'm like, so if you could do this, you could do this. And these are the conversations. This is why I said it's my job to level set. It's my job to make unrealistic expectations realistic.
Are those conversations uncomfortable?
They're very uncomfortable. But I think, so for me, you have to trust me.
Trying to tell me I got to settle?
And then, so we get into this conversation. Is that settling though? Is it settling though? If he's doing all these other things like you talked about, he's supporting you in this way emotionally. So is it settling? Because what you're doing right now, you by yourself. So you can go with this or you can go with, so this is how I break it down. You have to trust me. You have to know that I'm not belittling you. I want you to find love. I'm here to help you find love. I'm only successful if I find love for you. So I definitely want you to find love. But if you think I'm gonna be able to find you a Dwayne Wade, it's not gonna happen. Like, let's just keep it real. It's not gonna happen. That's a 1 in a million. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna happen.
Right. And he's gonna have the bulk of options. You know what I mean?
That's what men with money have more options. Let me say that. Women gonna hate me for it, but it's the truth. Because like I said, they can date younger. We don't like dating too young. It's like, ew, that's gross. Like, but they don't have that. They don't date younger. They have the spectrum that they can choose from. And the more money they get, the more choices they have. And they can be, I want a premium. I want a model. I want to, I want other races. Let's go there.
And the higher that money is, the more they're willing to compromise as well.
Absolutely. So it's not the same. We're not talking apples and oranges. And then two, a lot of times if women don't have children, so a lot of my clients are late 30s, your clock is ticking. You want children. So then I'm like, freeze your eggs. Let's slow this down. So this is where I come in as a coach to say, this is what you need to do. I'm going to do my part. Can you do your part? Definitely. Can you go freeze your egg? You can afford a surrogate. So push come to shove. So this is where I have these conversations to make it realistic. Because if you think I'm going to go find somebody in 2 months, y'all going to get married, he's going to get you pregnant, it's just not going to happen. You see what I'm saying? So it's my job to say, here's what's going to happen. Right. This is how it's going to work. Right. White men are bold. They go for what they want. Like, they'll just be like, you look good. Can I take you out?
Natural. Believe it or not, this might sound crazy to you. A white man would prefer you natural before a black man.
No, that's
incorrect.
That is incorrect. We're not about to put white men on a pedestal over there. We ain't about to do that.
You're wrong. Just because they want to touch your hair don't mean we don't love y'all. Just love y'all hair.
They would not have a problem with you walking down the street with them with your natural afro. I'm saying literally your natural features versus your significant other that's black will question. You ain't gonna fix your hair. You ain't gonna fix your hair.
You got the braids going back. When you gonna put your wig on? Like, where's your makeup?
I'm not saying every guy do that, but you have to be realistic and be like, it's a lot of. They say they like natural.
You said one thing,
but they'll pay for a BBL.
Fix yourself up.
They say they like natural, but you would get the girl with the big booty Judy before the skinny girl without it walking. Like, realistically, it sounds nice to say that. This is incorrect information. Y'all would pick the BBL girl walking down the street before the natural sister walking down the street.
We can tell what community you from because you're not listening to 3 black men that's right here that love women with their natural.
But I'm not disagreeing with your perspective.
I'm not arguing with you as well.
You gotta look at it from every perspective, right? Not just yours. That's your experience. But I'm telling you from my experience in dating other black men that's not the 3 in here, they would pick someone that's not like, I'm a natural sister. Ask them anywhere I go, Afro City, curly hair, etc. When you met me, natural. I'm telling you from experience. You can speak on yours, but I'm telling you
what I'm saying is as us all being black people, we need to voice how much we care about each other.
I don't agree.
I don't care about how much with this person you may think, and that's your opinion. I'm not disregarding that. I just want to express how much. You can't tell me as a black man, another man is going to love you more than I will.
I get that. I feel that.
And
I didn't say love you. No, I said accept our naturalness. It's a difference. It's a difference. I never said love.
Because I went extreme. I want to let you know I love black women. I want to go to the beyond and let you know.
For her body to be altered or get done versus her actually being natural. We were actually to be ourselves and like I'm saying 100% ourselves, right? Yeah. No nails, none of the extra stuff. Half of y'all don't even know what a natural black woman is because we put on so many different things to fit a standard for our men.
Okay, so I think this is okay. So let me speak on that. I'm hearing 2 things. One, sisters love brothers, and majority of my men want sisters too. So if I had to give a statistic, I'll say 98% of my black women want a brother. 85% of my black men want a black woman. That's just my from upper echelon matchmaking. So black men do love sisters. You do. And I think we all love each other, right? We can agree to that. Okay. But back to what she's saying though, I think you do click like on the sister with the big booty. You do click like.
I'm not.
Yeah.
But I think this is what women are. We look at physical stuff. We may like it, but that's not what we want.
Got it. Okay.
And I think women got to stop thinking what men are thinking rather than asking what I'm thinking. Because I could like her and I could mess with her, but that don't mean she's coming home to be my mother.
That's not wifey. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I just agree to that. That wasn't the perspective that I was going from. I was basically saying from my experience, this is not something that's an opinion. This is an experience that I went through. I date different cultures. I date different type of men. I stated that earlier. In my experience, when I dated white men versus when I dated black men, they would accept me 100% in my natural state.
We can also bring up the challenges that it is for a black man to walk up to the woman, a black woman sometimes when we saying, hey, nice to meet. Oh, we get, hot, tough, pushback, tough. And Chad might walk over and say, hey, and
he don't got no swag. He don't got no swag. He don't got no masculine energy. And y'all be more receptive. Y'all be more receptive to them.
I came up to you corny too, and you gave me an exit.
But why? Experience you're speaking on, but that's not true because I prefer.
But you're speaking on your experience.
No, I'm saying that exactly. I'm saying that's his experience. I'm not disputing it, but what I'm saying is that when I dated, I'm speaking on, he didn't have that experience that I'm speaking on. So he wouldn't be able to relate. He would be the outside. He's the black man looking at it, not the black woman that's the natural girl with the black guy or white guy. So he wouldn't understand it from my perspective. Of course, he's looking at it like we love our black women, just like I love my black men. But if I'm being honest, I got accepted more being natural with other race. Not saying that every black man in the world don't like the assisted natural.
Right.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying as a whole, realistically,
the thing
they
that
do prefer you to be made up before natural.
But you can't say as a whole based on your experience.
Yeah,
you only
you
dated
date.
how many black men and you only dated how many white men. So you can't base a whole on that little experience.
What I said as a whole, I'm saying like, if you were to take a poll right now, right? Let's say you were to put in just with black men, right? And you were to put a natural sister up, right? And you were to put, let's say, another female that's attractive, right? And they were to do their pose, right? And pick, like he just said.
Right.
Yeah, we liking that.
We have
with
over
the poll,
200,000 black men that would choose a natural black woman.
And I agree with you 100%, but you also got to calculate the other 200,000 that wouldn't. It's 50-50.
But we just based off your survey.
But you basing your survey on your experience, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, because I dated different types of men. He didn't.
And I hear what you're saying, but your percentage of what you're dating based on the whole is very small.
Yeah, it's a
I would agree to that. Yes, I can agree to that. But like I said, from my experience, that's how it was for me.
I
and for
think
other
the only
females that I know, they had similar experiences where they were treated better, you know, with their natural features, dating a white man. So that's why I said that.
Sometimes
not taking away from the black man, because I love my black man.
Sometimes white men, and when I have white men that call me and ask for matchmaking, I question if it's a fetish, because sometimes they fetishize us, and when especially if I hear a white man that says, you know, I like them chocolate, I like them natural hair. They do say these things, but I'm like, is it a fetish? Do you have a
And it's looked at as when they say there's appreciation.
It sounds
but when
appreciation,
we say it, it's like,
but I'm hearing a fetish. Why she got to look like this?
How do you differentiate that?
Well, I think it makes me. I have a sex therapist on staff, so what I do is my sex therapist gives you a whole list of questions because I got to understand where is this coming from.
Right.
You might be attracted. He says this is what I'm attracted to. Where is it coming from? Does it turn you on because she's really dark with full lips? Like, what is it? Like, I need to understand that.
That's dope.
It doesn't mean that I'm not. I have clients with fetishes all day, but I want to, from a black woman's perspective, I want to know: are you wanting this black woman because you're fetishizing her, or is that just something you're attracted to? Right. Yeah, I need to know that.
You know, and I'm everybody has the experiences. I'm not taking that away from you. I just dislike, because I love black women too much. I dislike black men and black women when we tend to put other races on a pedestal.
Yeah.
I hear black men say all the time, well, white women treat me better, or they are more receptive to me. They come up to me and talk to me. You know what I mean? And like, I don't like it either way. And I understand that is an experience, but I don't like this pedestal, this putting people on a pedestal and trying to make it seem like they're perfect and they do X, Y, and Z perfect. Because black men can say the same thing about any other ethnic group of women. But, you know, and it's wrong. You know what I mean? But I can't. I get triggered.
We hear that a lot from
I get triggered when I hear black women
treat me better, or she's not as aggressive, or she may not yell or do what this black woman. We hear that a lot.
Yeah, no, I'm not. But what I'm saying is, I don't condone any of it. Right. But to me, it does trigger me when I hear black women and black men say it. It triggers me because I'm like, your pedestal, because you have grown up with this perspective. I've seen the corny black man get rejected by black women, but the corny Chad come around, is riding a city bike in New York City, be able to get the number. Or how many times we've been at parties, white men don't got no rhythm, but the black women, you know, all quick on the dance on him, throwing it back on him, but I couldn't get a dance. So, you know what I mean? So again, we do have our experiences, and I'm not trying to take anybody's, you know, personal experiences away from them, but we just got to do a better job.
I looked up the stats. It says 16% of women earn more than their husbands, 29% are making somewhere similar, and over 50% husbands earn more.
Yeah, I know that in general that's it. But in our demographic, in our bubble,
in the last 30 years, that is a tremendous high jump.
But it's a jump. But in our bubble of well-educated, it's not that. Yeah. Okay. You know, even in corporate, I'm an HR consultant. I can look around the room and count the black men. It's like it's different in our bubble. Now, when you go out to the field, like construction or it's different. But in our little bubble, it's women, black women dominating.
I can see that.
Did you type it in as a whole, or did you type it in for black people?
Listen,
I didn't hear it.
Yeah, I can say our bubbles. I've looked the numbers up.
I know our bubbles are not in the numbers, and I try to find.
So is that anecdotal or is that definitive?
I would have to be a PhD in this to figure it out. But
which I be talking like y'all all PhDs.
But what I'm telling you is, sometimes you make these comments like the average woman makes $30,000 a year. I literally don't know anybody who make $30,000 a year. So like that's
statistics.
But I know,
that's logic.
I know. But I mean,
I feel like that's an
environment. But if you were to follow the logic and you start with matriculation into college, and then you go from college to graduate school, then you go from into the workforce. More Black women are matriculated into college than Black men.
That doesn't always equate to more money. There's more Black men in trade schools and getting trades, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, but you're asking about the sort of you talking about logic. So we can look up the numbers. We can delve into a little bit deeper, but I think what Shay is noting, part of it is anecdotal, but there are some statistics to confirm in terms of Black households, et cetera, et cetera. There are initiatives to increase the number of Black men in college. And you can't say, well, just because you didn't go to college, you're going to necessarily make more. When you look at the number of Black entrepreneurs, Black women are on the rise. Yes. So again, you can pull these numbers together and you can get to the point that Shay is making.
But what I'm saying is when they talk about households, they do include single mothers as those head of households.
So are you saying that Black women are? So what do you mean by single mothers?
I'm saying when you talk about the numbers where Black women are the head of households, they are including single women, single mothers in those head of the household. So of course those numbers might be more skewed because they're not saying in marriages or relationships. They're just saying head of household. That could be a single mother. Yeah. She is filing for head of household because she's a single mother.
Right. No,
you know what I mean? So that would spew the numbers a certain way to make it seem like, oh, there's more Black women as head of the household, but we don't know if they're married. We don't know if they're single women. Like, you know what I mean? So
facts. Hey, yo, shout out to the Daily Wrap Up crew. This stream was 1 hour and 30 minutes. I'll leave a link in the description. Go check it out. Go subscribe to them. Leave a comment in the description. Like, subscribe, share. Peace.